Hello, everyone. My name is Nina Berger. I am the Senior Career Services Manager at PreSales Academy. We are here interviewing some of our past graduates as well as career advisors to celebrate PreSales Academy's third birthday because we love our community. Our community is what makes this experience what it is. And is a better way than just highlighting these stories about the people who are involved with PreSales Academy, whether they've been past graduates, current students, or current or past career advisors. We want to highlight those stories here. So I have an amazing guest with us today. Maher is here with us. He is from Cohort 10. I'm going to let him do a more formal introduction of himself so that he can share his story. But Maher, thank you so much for being here. Just to kick it off, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit about your career before joining Pre-Sales Academy?
Sure, Nina, so good to be with you. I love the pre-sales. I love my journey with you guys. And
Aw.
yeah, a little bit about me. I was a BMW master technician for over a decade, and then jumped into starting my own company into cloud engineering and doing some on-prem work for customers, helping them transition from that on-prem servers to the cloud. And then found myself kind of starting to figure out what pre-sales was. So, yeah.
Hey, so just let's just get into the follow-up with that. What really inspired you to pursue a career in pre-sales? Like, when did it click for you that you're like, hey, this is a space for me?
Yeah, I think it's such a common response to be like, I didn't know what pre-sales was. I didn't know, in a sense, what a solutions consultant does or solution engineer does. And I think in trying to find my next step in my journey, I started meeting with so many people, and one particular person who was from cohort 4, Mark, shout out to Mark. He's like, you know what, man? I think you'd be a great solutions consultant. And I said, what is that? And he's like, you need to talk to Nina. You need to talk to the Pre-Sales Collective, Pre-Sales Academy. And that's kind of how I learned about it. Yeah.
I forgot that you were connected by a past graduate. I love when people just find people who are currently in the role or been through the experience and they kind of provide that bridge for you into this because you're like, okay, this is legit. Like someone else can see me in this. I'm definitely kind of like on the right path. And I also can lean upon other people, especially when I get out of this experience, when I want to start building my network.
Absolutely. I think it was essential for me. And in the process, you hear a lot about boot camps these days, and there's mixed results and things like that. And I was, skeptical at first, and I was like, I don't know, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take money. Is it really gonna bring results? And I took the plunge, and I was like, let's see what happens, and let me put as much effort as I can into it, because I know you get out of it what you put into it. And I was so glad that I actually it was scary. It was a scary time, and I think it's still a tough time in the job market.
Yeah.
So to take that leap and not fully knowing, excuse me, is tough, you know.
No, it definitely is. Well, Maher, I'm sure everyone is dying to know. Where are you right now? Tell us about your current position.
Yeah, I mean, you could see in the background, I got my background for service now. This is what I demo with, this is what I disco with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got hired at ServiceNow as a senior solutions consultant right out of PSA. And I think it was essential for me in what I learned at PSA to be able to present in front of the multiple managers and the director that I interviewed in front of, and it just prepared me for that time. That, I mean, it was invaluable to me what I learned at PSA, and I love where I am now. My team, my reps, all three reps that I work with. I mean, it's been incredible. I mean, it's been just 4 months. I know I'm in the honeymoon stage, but it's just been incredible working for ServiceNow.
Oh, I love hearing that. And I love how you put so much effort and focus into your job search process, and it's just really paid off for you. I know You face a lot of challenges coming out of the academy and going into your search process. How did you really overcome them to be where you are right now?
That's a great question. I think I started out doing what everyone else did, and that's the spray and pray.
That's fair.
And man, I have a giant spreadsheet of probably close to like, I don't know, 700 jobs that I've applied to, and like what stage I was in with each one and who I reached out to and things like that. I mean, it was a full like pipeline sales cycle type, strategy. And I basically got zero like interviews from that. So I think when Pre-Sales Academy said, you know what, and they brought in people from the field that are actually managers in the field, that are
Mhm.
solutions consultant, that are, different parts of the pre-sales journey that are working in it day to day. And they said, you know what, stop spraying and praying.
Yeah.
Pick three companies, learn their platforms, figure out what they want, what is important to them, and see if you can fit in to solve that solution. And so once I started doing that, I started seeing that wherever I was kind of getting response from a manager or an employee there, then I would put more effort into that
Mhm.
that particular company. So it kind of was a day-to-day thing, to see. I was going after ServiceNow, Salesforce, and UiPath,
Mhm.
three big cloud platforms that I felt I was uniquely, kind of built to
Yeah.
be a part of. But ServiceNow was the one who kept giving me that feedback, kept checking in with me, kept responding to my emails and my training that I was doing on their platform. And yeah, I leaned in. The more they leaned in, the more I leaned in. So it was kind of a give and take relationship that was building over time with all three companies.
Nice. No, I really just like how, you started this journey very broad, but then you're like, hey, you know what? I need to focus on companies that actually speak to my past experience because that is what's going to be unique about me and allow me to stand out. And I love how you eventually led that into how you reshaped your focus.
Yeah, I think that was essential. I think where it clicked for me, and this might be silly, but I love telling stories. I love movies that have great stories. One is the movie Hidden Figures, when they're trying to get to space, they're trying to get to the moon eventually, and things like that. They didn't get to the moon in that movie, but there was an IBM computer that was coming to NASA, and no one knew how to use it. But this particular person, she said, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to use this, and I'm going to be essential to the company so that they don't overlook me and my
True.
team, because they were like human calculators and this computer was going to replace them. Well, what they did was figure out how to run the computer that no one else knew. And so for me, with AI and ServiceNow, I mean, they are pouring billions into AI. And so I said, I need to make myself essential in AI, even though I'm still learning, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out what AI is. Let's figure this out. Let's pour that effort into that. And I literally spent 4 months learning their platform, learning AI. So when it was time to demo for them, there was, five different managers on the call. I demoed their latest Gen AI products to them, and they were blown away. And they're
Mhm.
like, "How are you demoing this? We have people in-house that are just starting to get up to speed.
Mhm.
We need to hire you. We need you on our team." Instead of me like begging to be on a team in such a job environment right now where it's so difficult.
Yeah. No, I love how that paid off for you so much. Like you put in some serious amount of work. You had such detailed follow-up. You had such detailed plans of how am I going to ramp up? How am I going to show that I can really do this role? And gosh, I remember the day when you told me you got the job. I was just so happy for you. And I'm just so glad things are kind of falling into place at your current role. Beyond just kind of that process of making sure you really stood out for your company. Was there anything else that you learned from just Pre-Sales Academy that really helped you going through that process and in your current role?
Absolutely. I'll say this, very clearly. Without PreSales Academy, I would not have been able to land this job, 100%. Because, and I'll tell you why. I was in my own company. I was as a consultant, as a cloud consultant. I was presenting, I was implementing, I was doing RFPs and things like that. But pre-sales is a niche, and it needs a particular style of skills that I did not possess before I joined the academy. And when the pre-sales academy gives you an advisor, gives you a coach, gives you a mentor, and you are starting to demo and disco through that time, and they start you out, record this 5-minute video, and you're working your way up all the way to like 45-minute hour demo, and then you get immediate feedback from your coach to, do it again a week from now, and this is the things you need to work on. These are the templates, these are the spreadsheets that the templates that you need to utilize, and this is how you should, have it crisp and clear of what the pain points are, and value selling. I mean, it was incredibly essential for me to have that, and that's what I used in my demo when I interviewed. And it, the crazy thing is, I mean, I have 3 reps. I'm running like crazy right now, like working with so many opportunities, and trying to close third quarter right now, trying to get them before the quarter ends. I'll tell you right now, I am still using those exact tools that I got from PSA in my daily demos. I used it yesterday in my demo yesterday. So that's how essential it is. That's how real world it is. It's not just this like fake demo, demo environment that it's going to be that different when you get into the job, into the actual job. You're going to use what you learn in the actual job. Yeah.
Honestly, just yeah, well said. I love when students are able to take what they learn from the program and bring into their roles. Like that's the point of this. We want you to have a foundation that you could build off of to fit into your company and feel like, hey, I didn't just learn any basics in pre-sales. I learned some really good best practices that I can grow and shape to how my company currently functions.
Yeah, it's exactly that. They prepare you for the job as soon as you hit the ground running. Usually for someone like me who's never had a solutions consultant role, uh, ServiceNow, basically what they do is they say we want 100% of our people coming on board to go through the academy, and they have their own academy
They
of
do.
5 to 6 months that they run. But with what I came with, they're like, we can't put you in the academy. We need to have you hit the ground running. And it was because of the pre-sales academy that I was able to do that. If I didn't have that, I would not have had the framework. I would not have had the foundation or the structure to be able to go right into a senior position where I'm supporting 3 AEs. So
Yeah. And I feel like that just like, I feel like especially with your years of experience, like this is what made the most sense for you, especially in your journey. Like you are ready to take on those senior level roles, and just that bit of refinement really proved to everyone that, hey, I am at the level that I think I am.
absolutely. I think I came in and said to the director, I said, listen, if you want to put me in the academy, I'm fine. I'll start where you want me to start. I'm okay. And that's one thing I think you have to be willing, in this journey, in this transition. You have to be willing to scrub the proverbial tech toilets, as as I kind of silly say. I mean, it's gonna you
That's
you
true.
gotta be okay starting at the bottom. And I think with whatever you bring to the table, your past experience, whether you have some or not, you gotta be willing to get your foot in the door,
Yeah.
regardless of what that is. And when people see that you're curious, you're hungry, you're willing to do what it takes, they're gonna want to bring you on because they see that you're teachable, they see that you're flexible, they see a potential in you where you could be valuable to the team. And I think coming in that way for me has been extraordinary because, uh, listen, the nature of the position itself, you're learning something
Yeah.
every day. For me, I'm learning something every 30 seconds. I'm just like, it's such a fire hose, but I love it. It's such an incredible
Oh.
role to be a part of.
that. Well, Harry, you've accomplished a lot since you graduated. What is a moment you've been really proud of since kind of completing Pre-Sales Academy and starting this crazy journey?
Yeah, I'll say this. With what I learned in PSA, I basically learned to demo anything. I mean, you want to give me a popsicle, I can demo a popsicle. You know what I mean? Like, and one proud moment recently, as a core solutions consultant for ServiceNow, I have a particular three different products that I'm supposed to be a subject matter expert in, demoing. Well, we had a client that needed had a contract, ending soon with the point solution that they were using
Mm,
currently, and they needed something, to replace it because it wasn't meeting everything they wanted. But they said, I need to see what ServiceNow does so that I can be confident, that this is going to bring value to what I want. And they needed a product demo that was outside of my scope, that I had
mm,
not trained in, that I had not done. And so what I said, you know what, to my AE and my manager, I said, listen, I can take it on. It's going to take me some extra work, but I believe I have the framework and I have the grit to take that on and get this done. And so, I spent a few evenings. I spent, some extra time on the weekend, learned that product, spent some time with the specialists that we have that
oh, nice.
usually there, and they're like, we can spend some time showing you. And in a few days, I jumped in and demoed that extra product that is not my responsibility. And I was able to do that because I just said, okay, let me grab my frameworks that I was given,
Mhm.
and literally, I mean, I can demo a popsicle, I can demo this product that's not my responsibility because of that framework that I have.
I love that. I think that is an amazing thing to be proud of. That's such a big accomplishment. And I love your approach towards challenges. You're not backing off. You're very much like, hey, I'm curious about this. Let me dive in. Let me see if I could get there and push through that stickiness to feel more confident and be like, yeah, no, I can present this. I got this.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is what I'm thinking. The other half of me is like, you know, how is this going to work out? Like, is this going to happen? And you kind of gotta like quiet those voices and understand, regardless of who you are, you're gonna have that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You're gonna have those voices in your head, but just because they're running across your brain doesn't mean you have to listen to them. Doesn't mean you have to accept them. And you're gonna make mistakes. I've already made mistakes. I've already, not said the right thing and answered things
Right.
incorrectly. Like, we're all gonna make mistakes, and there's room for that. That's what's beautiful about the role is, you're usually surrounded by a team that understands the journey of learning that you're on, and they just want to support you and see you at your best. So
Oh.
yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. Like, I feel like the people in this pre-sale space just, they're people who care. They're people who really want to see the success of their team. They understand, hey, we're all human. We're going to make mistakes and we're going to move from it. So that's an amazing note. I have one more question for you today. Um, Obviously, you are one of our many students who've made this transition. What advice would you give someone who's exploring the pre-sales profession and looking to make the transition into this role, profession, or a solutions focused role?
Yeah, I'd say if you want to make the transition into this career, you're gonna need some help.
Yep.
We are in a difficult environment, and you're gonna need the help of Pre-Sales Academy because they support you in such ways. They help you build a network. It wasn't just, you know getting an advisor like Nina and a coach and a mentor. It was also opening me up to their networks.
Mhm.
And almost overnight, you start getting introduced to all these people, and they've been in their careers for 10 plus years. How long is it going to take you to build that on your own? you, it's gonna be really tough. So even for me, someone who's been in the workforce for a long time, I was not going to be able to build that network in the same way that these mentors and coaches and advisors gave me. So that's one thing I'll say. The next thing I'll say is this line, and I live by this line. You're gonna have to be willing to do what most people are not willing to do. And if you and I say that because of the job market we're in. The majority of people are doing the same exact thing, trying to get the same exact job. And that's just not going to cut it anymore. You're going to have to go above and beyond. And that means different things for different people for different positions. You're going to have to figure out what is that threshold where I have to go above and beyond to get through these barriers, because those barriers, if you've been following the layoffs, in tech this year are heavy. So you gotta come strong, and you gotta give it all you got. And if you invest your time and into PSA, you're gonna get the results you want.
What an amazing note to end on. Thank you so much, Maher. I really appreciate you being here, giving some just honest insights about making this transition because, yeah, it is not an easy one. You have to put in work and motivation and consistency over time. And it's all about kind of like having that follow through and leveraging kind of like your support and resources that you're given, but you're the one at the end of the journey pushing and doing the work. So I really appreciate you sharing that. That is the end of our conversation. I really appreciate you being part of this community, being part of our third birthday celebration. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. And for everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. And happy third birthday, Pre-Sales Academy.
Happy birthday. Thank you,
Bye,
Nina.
y'all.